Hey everyone, today I am here with Richie. She has been a user of GroupApp for I think over 11 months now, and she
Mhm.
has a very unique way that she's using GroupApp to launch her online virtual summits. And so today we just wanted to have a conversation with her and on how she is using GroupApp for her virtual summits and her membership community. Richie, great to talk to you today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
So, tell our audience a little bit about Homeschool and humor and what you guys do and what your company is all about.
Well, Homeschool and Humor, we are here to just support homeschool moms through the journey of homeschooling because when you start homeschooling, it's just your whole life changes. It's not the wake up every day, go to school, get the kids ready, all that stuff. So it's your kids are at home, you have three full meals a day, your house is always a mess, but you have to keep it clean while you're schooling the kids. So it's like a whole lifestyle change. And so that's why I started Homeschool and Humor anyway, was to just help parents, mom or dads, with the transition of starting their homeschooling journey. But even then, when you've been in homeschooling, just when you've been doing it a few years, you still need that support, as I learned later on down the road. So that's what Homeschool and Humor is about. And even when I started it, we were traveling a lot. And so I noticed that there was hardly any resources about traveling or homeschooling and traveling. And at the time, there was just no community. Like there's just, I don't know, it just wasn't a lot of supporting, resources out there. So that's why I started Homeschool and Humor, just to help homeschool moms along their journey with inspiration and encouragement and a little lightheartedness.
What inspired the summit that you now run almost 3 times a year, close to? You ran it 3 times on Group App so far.
Right. Um, well, honestly, there was a lot of, well, from COVID happening, there was a surplus in homeschoolers. It was like 800% more, and I can't remember where that statistic came from. So don't exactly quote me, but from what I understand, it was 800% more homeschoolers, which were like 5 million more homeschoolers. So there was just a huge surplus of homeschool moms. There was just a lot of questions, like in all the like Facebook groups or all my email. It was just a lot of busyness in messages and emails and just everywhere. And again, I was still seeing, I mean, there were some community type resources there, but I was seeing a lack of it and just this big disconnect between homeschool bloggers and curriculum creators and create educational reps online. I just saw a disconnect between them and just the homeschool mom. So they were wanting support, and homeschool bloggers were wanting to support them, but it was just like a hit or miss. They couldn't really find each other. And that's why I created the summit, so that everybody could find each other in one place. And that's why I do it 3 times a year.
How did you come across Group App and what attracted you to Group App as a platform to host your summit?
Well, I had already been running summits by the time I came across GroupApp. I had
Hmm.
probably ran like five before then.
Hmm.
And I noticed the core, like the core piece in summits virtually, or even summits in person, is the community, the networking part of it. And so from running my own summits, it's just so hard. I mean, even now, you can't hardly find a platform out there that encompasses the community aspect, which is the huge piece of it, as well as all of the courses and the workshop pieces of it, and then with the summit, you have these lives and keynote speakers, things that aren't pre-recorded. And so we need like a piece for all the lives going on. And there's just no place like that. And if you wanted to get off of social media and not be distracted and not have your stuff so far down in feeds, then you can't really find it out there, honestly. So that's what attracted me to GroupApp, because I saw that it was community forward. That was just like the first thing, is all you see is the community. But then you see all these just nuggets of gems like, well, there's this whole piece for all the courses, and there's a whole area for just the events, and even a library of resources, which I thought was amazing because even myself in homeschooling humor, I have this huge free resource hub, and it's just, it's on a different platform because I've been in the process of moving it over, but it's just like file after file. I mean, you can't really see it. It's just, just a simple platform of courses. And so I loved the library part of it as well because it's resources there and it had everything that we would need to just run a community forward summit atmosphere. And that's what really attracted me to GroupApp. I couldn't find anything out there like it, And so whenever I saw it, I just knew immediately. I was all in right when I saw it. I looked at it, and then my wheels in my head was just spinning like, yeah, that solves that problem and that solves that problem. And so that's why I went on board with GroupApp.
So you have one of the more like super unique setups that I've ever seen with your community on GroupApp. You have all of these spaces that are created to really make your summit as engaging and an easy to follow as possible. So what I'll love to do is have you walk us through your whole entire setup and how you're just using GroupApp to run these massive summits. Your last one had 2,200 registrants, and your community is filled with a lot of activity during that 3 to 4 day period that you're launching these summits at. So for anyone that's like watching, I want to give them like a behind the scenes view of how you're setting things up to run these summits, and we go through your community together.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen then. So this is my community. Right when somebody comes in, this is the first thing that they see is the homepage where it says, "Welcome to the community." Um, and well, now, right when they come in, they have the onboarding process where they're asked a few questions. So I
Mhm.
don't make anything required of them except for one question, which I believe is, what is the number one problem that you want to get out of this community? Because that's just a good market research so that I can know for future.
Uh-huh.
But that's it. So I'll leave it all up to them if they want to show their face, if they want to leave a bio, if they want to do anything like that. It's completely up to them. It's fine because homeschool moms have a tendency to feel isolated because they're home all day with just little kids. And so it's hard to find, I mean, you just don't talk to people of like the same age a lot. And so it can feel a little bit isolated. And then once you finally come across people your own age, you might be a little bit shy at first. So I've seen people not do anything, but then they just warm up to it, like a little bit shell shocked, I guess. And then
Mhm.
they just go all in. So this right here is our homepage. So whenever somebody comes on, they will have all the onboarding questions, and then they will go right here. So the first thing they do when they come here is they see this community and they don't really know where to go first, except there's the channels over here and it says start here. So whenever they see start here, I have the very first thing at the top is the community discussions, and that is just our main discussion area. So, and I put it at the very top, and that's the only one we have because I've had it in the past where I had a discussion area for the summit and then a discussion area for the community, and that gets real confusing. And so I just decided to just leave one main discussion area. Like this is where we do our posts about just whatever the speakers and sponsors want to do. So whenever we get into the community itself, it opens up about 2 or 3 weeks before the summit happens. So we have 2 or 3 early bird weeks right there.
Mhm.
And I encourage them to go ahead and sign up for the community, get familiar with the community. And when they do the getting started area here. And they can see, read all of the information here, like everything you need to know about the Homeschool Mom Summer Summit, Here's what you need to know about notifications if you want to change your notifications. Here's a video walkthrough showing you exactly, what to do and where is it at. Or here's the video walkthrough, here's the verbal walkthrough. So I let them have it all.
Uh-huh.
So, and then I even show them where the community app is at. And this is right here is pretty much what I've noticed is all they need to just really get familiar with it. And I encourage them to just get familiar with it, watch the video, the tour, and just make this your new home. So as they're waiting for the summit to come, we will have the speakers and the sponsors of the summit. They're posted in here in those early bird weeks, ramping up engagement, getting people excited, just starting the buzz. And so you can see a lot of people, a lot of speakers and sponsors get in here, and just some of the things that we do to ramp up, engage them, to just get them used to posting in general, is we have fun little bingo things going on and fun contests that they can do. And almost all of it is tied to, commenting on a post or watching a workshop or commenting on this. So we want them to get moving in the community so that they're more familiar. They're just more comfortable, honestly, just posting in it, checking it every day, making it their home this next month. So that's why whenever they get started, they set up, they see all this, then they'll look at the channel section here. So in this channel section, I make a whole section for just the summit. So here is just getting started. So they can get started. There's announcements that I'll say like community wide, because there's some members that aren't part of the summit in here. And then there's some members in here that's from previous summits. Okay. So a lot of them a lot of them do re-register for every single summit, but some of them probably still don't. But so this is the announcements for just everybody community wide. And then introductions are here. So they always leave introductions on here because it's just, it's a new community, and we encourage them to leave introductions and just get busy. And then they have a spot here where they can ask us any questions they have, whether it's summit related or it's homeschool related or it's, I don't know, where is the summit at? Kind of just anything like, where am I going to see the replays or just anything like that. Is right here in the Ask a Questions area. But for this summit, I have really, as you can see in the Getting Started area, I really laid it out. So my point was to not have them use the Ask a Question channel so much for this summit, because it can pull me from my other things during the summit weeks. And I wanted everything, and not just that though, I wanted it to just be as streamlined and as easy to understand and know where to go as possible. So that's why not only do I have that there, but I also have it in the in the courses area. So even in the courses, whenever they get in their course and they have that first section open to them, let's do this one. They have this first section open to them, and it tells them like exactly what to do. So it says, welcome to the summit. It starts in, however many weeks, but this is what you need to do first. So you can see on like the welcome area right here, like familiarize yourself with the community, do the community tour, set up your notifications, download the community app. It's the same exact thing, but it's because I know that when you leave it in only one spot, people are going to miss it no matter what, even if it's blinking in front of them. And so that's why I put it in both areas. So they know that I know they'll be here. So that's why I put it there. But I also want to put it where they can see it right when they get inside the community. So that's why I put it right there in the channels as well. So what I do is I use the channels a lot whenever I'm setting up the summit. So we use the courses here, like we just saw right then. And then we use the library for the resources, and I'll show you that in a second. But we also use the events whenever we are setting up all of the events. So you can see in our past events, we do a lot of events. And I think it was 32 from what I was what I was doing. It ended up being like a lot of events, honestly. But because one of the like every day we do bonus live workshops, and that can last like a few hours of open time, and speakers can come and go in that same link, and the attendees can just stay there in that link all day long and just leave the browser open if they wanted to catch the speakers coming and going. But then
Mhm.
whenever they get done at the end of the day, I'll chop up the videos and put them individually in the replays for the VIP people. But yeah, that's why there's like ended up being like 32.
Where are the
But yeah,
replays?
so
Where are the replays stored?
I store all the replays in the library, is where I stored them mostly in our previous summit.
Hmm.
So I did store the bonus live workshops, like any individual workshops the speakers did. I stored them here in the library. But then
Hmm.
I also stored like all of the replays in addition to the bonus live workshops in a section here, because there's more than just bonus live workshops. We have keynote speakers, we have morning live welcomes, and any other lives that we have. So this is where I took all the keynote speaker replays and everything, and I put them in the course itself.
Hmm.
Um, but for the last summit, not just this one, for the last one, I did stick everything inside the in the library, only because for the last summit, for this summit, only VIPs could access the replays. And the last summit, anybody can access the replays. And I know you can divvy up the permissions for whoever. I just didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it the last summit, so I left this open. Yeah. So this is where all the replays are at, which is it's incredible too, because it's also where the attendee feedback form is at, and just anything like the summit workshops are right, the binders. I mean, for note taking, just things that are summit related that could easily get lost in the course itself, the summit itself.
Hmm.
I also put in the library here. Like we also have a swag bag, a bundle, a PDF bundle full of resources that we store here. So everybody knows the library is where all the loose resources are at, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
Um, so that's how we use the library. We just store replays, we store surveys, we store, swag bag, just anything that we need that's just extra miscellaneous stuff that we have. I put it in the library,
Okay.
especially if it's like permission open, you know,
Hmm.
because I did do that this time. I did put bonus live workshops in our summer summit one, and I did use the permissions that only VIPs could see it.
Hmm.
So I did do that this time. Um, but anyways, yeah, and like the bingo card. So,
So, tell us about how you're using channels to run the summit, and you have several channels that you use, and you use it pretty extensively.
yeah. So the channels, whenever I discovered GroupApp had channels, I thought that was just an incredible feature, because if you're using other communities, like free communities like Facebook groups, it gets so lost and so busy, and it's so loud and distracting. And I just wanted to get away from that. And you might be able to utilize Facebook groups in some kind of snazzy way, but your attendees aren't going to know where your stuff's at. They want it all right there in front of them. And so that's why I was looking for GroupApp. It's because I wanted so desperately to get away from the Facebook group, free model, especially when Facebook stops showing your posts to so many people, and the algorithm won't show your summit posts to everybody.
Hmm.
That's why I like GroupApp, because they will see their post. They're going to see all of our posts. And if we definitely want them to see the post, then we broadcast the post so that they get the in-app notifications, they get the app notifications, and they get the email. Especially if it's like something I really want them not to miss. You
Hmm.
can't do that with like Facebook groups. So that's why that's why I jumped on GroupApp for that. That reason was one of my selling points, honestly.
Hmm.
Okay, so the channels. So we have a lot of channels here, and I archive all of our channels from previous summits. So they're not just left there collecting dust because you're just not using them. And the attendees won't need these channels after so long, and I'll explain to you why. So in our summit for the to kick it off, we have a kind of like a summit party where we schedule post after post after post. Let's see. Okay, it's not scrolling down. Oh no, hang on. So in our summit kickoff party, we have post after post after post, and it is scheduled like every 5 minutes or yeah, it's the 5 minute into interval.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we have like post after post after post, and we really utilize GroupApp server at that point in time.
So this is the summit
And
kickoff party. You have
yeah,
what explain like how this space is used to kick things off.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was waiting for all the posts to load because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's a lot of posts. So within about an hour and a half, we had like maybe 45 posts published in within about an hour and a half. So I'll go live in the events area, and then I'll redirect them all to this channel here. And I remind them to refresh their phone or their computer every so often, just in case they're not getting new posts. It's not a big deal. And so it just gets them excited. They get door prizes or they get giveaways. So and these are contributed from all the speakers and the sponsors. So we gather all this information up beforehand whenever they submit their materials, and then I schedule everything here ahead of time. So I'm not like rushing to do it right then and there. So I do it ahead of time,
Mhm.
and so it's scheduled every 5 minutes, and it's either freebies that they can go to their websites and, opt in to collect, or it can be giveaways, which then the speaker or the sponsor they're responsible for, whether it's picking a commenter for the winner or going somewhere on Rafflecopter or whatever. So, but that's two of the things that they get in this kickoff party. So like right here, it is a fun door prize, and they're going to get this scavenger hunt printable. So they'll just click on it and they'll just go get it. And this other areas or other posts, it would just be a giveaway, so if they want to give away one of their, like this one, she's going to give away one winner to her small grouping coaching program, which is a $629 value. So she's going to pick one winner, whoever enters the giveaway, and one of the attendees will win. And in every single one of the posts, I try to leave some kind of comment here to incite engagement. So I'll have them, comment on all the posts. And that's what I want to do. I want them to comment and be busy in it. Like I said, so they'll feel comfortable, but also it gives the speakers and the sponsors an opportunity to get to know them as well. And for the attendees to get to know the speakers and sponsors so that they can just know them for the know, like, and trust factor. And then after the summit, the idea is for them to follow the speakers and sponsors beyond the summit. It's
Mhm.
really to set up to help homeschool bloggers and sponsors, especially sponsors, whenever they sign up. It's set up in such a way where it just helps use the summit as a catalyst to boost their business, even beyond the summit, because this is just, a 1 week period, but then their business is long term. So that's the idea. At the same time, we're still, given to the community, and we're helping the homeschool community with resources and encouragement and tips and all that good stuff. So it's a win-win. But that's
Mhm.
why we have the kickoff party here. So we can kick it off for them to get engaged, like right off the bat. This is always like the evening before the summit starts, like the summit week. So they've already been in the community a good week or two beforehand. But our number two highest conversion day is always like either the day before the summit or the day of the summit is like the second highest conversion day. So they haven't been in here. A lot of them haven't been in here the first, 2 weeks that it was invited to them once they registered, but a lot have.
Mhm.
But that's why we kick it off so that they can just start getting active for Summit Week. And plus, I have contests going on too.
Okay.
So that's the Summit kickoff party.
Mhm. Now, the next channel you're using is VIP exclusives. What do you typically, what are the content that's typically housed there, and how do members are, how they redirected to that content?
So with VIP Pass, okay, so once somebody registers for the summit, and it depends on the summit. So this summit was the one we just had was a free summit. But then they could upgrade to get lifetime access, get bonuses and podcasts, all that good stuff. And also an exclusive area in the community where they can get exclusive perks. And this is the area in the community that's just exclusive to the VIP pass holders. So
Mhm.
whenever they purchase and they I get them tagged or segmented that they're a VIP pass holder, and then they have access to this channel here. Whereas the people who are free that didn't upgrade, they don't have access to this channel. But they are it pops up at telling them it's triggered whenever they try to access it to go and upgrade, which is nice. That's nice that GroupApp does that. So I can have it there for them to click the button and still go upgrade if they're trying to access it.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is the area. So this is where I will post VIP related posts where speakers and sponsors will post VIP perks. Some of them will give the VIPs discounts where they didn't give everybody else, or they'll give them a free product, or they'll give them coupon codes or anything. One of the things that we do for not all the time, but we've done it a few times, is that in our summits, sometimes we'll have an extra day called VIP Day. So instead of a 5-day summit, it's really a 4-day free summit. And then that fifth day is really just to celebrate VIP pass holders. And
Mhm.
when we do that, similar to the party that we just saw where we did posts, post after post for an hour, similar to that, except they're getting door prizes and giveaways throughout the whole day and not just that 1 hour. So they're going to get goodies and freebies, throughout the day on VIP Day, just for being a VIP pass holder, as well as for this particular one that we did a premium live panel. So we did a live in the events area, a live panel where the group of us speakers and sponsors got together on the VIP day. And then we had premium live bonus workshops in the afternoon where normally when you have to purchase a workshop to watch, they got to access it for free on this day in the afternoon. Because I know one of the speakers, she sells her workshop for like $97, but she gave it away for free that afternoon for the VIP pass holders. So that's what I mean. So it's just a VIP exclusive day. And also, every single one of our summits, we give 5% of our proceeds to some kind of charity organization. And every summer summit, we've done it for the Silent, which is a nonprofit organization that helps fight against sex trafficking and exploitation in our youth. And so because of that, we're celebrating the VIPs with VIP Day because they are directly fighting against sex trafficking. So that's another reason why we did a whole VIP Day to celebrate them. And this is
Mm.
their exclusive area.
And then you have the VIP bonuses, which is just all of the things that come along with signing up as a VIP attendee, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct. And I really like this setup because as you can see, and on the other ones, it had the normal feed setup, but this one it's set up in list.
Mhm.
So this is a list of all the VIP bonuses, that the VIP pass holders have access to. Not everybody in the summit does because they're just the free basic attendees. But if they wanted, but if they're a VIP pass holder, then they get access to all these VIP bonuses. And I put them here in the channel instead of in the course, where all the workshops are at, where I had used to do before GroupApp, which was always a pain because then it's there forever, but then they expire.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like it here, because then I can archive it after a few months or so. So I give the attendees at least 30 days to redeem all these products here. And then probably in another 60 or 90 days, then I'll go back through and I'll archive some of this stuff. And anything that I think that they might still need access to, then I'll go ahead and put it in the course if it's not already there. Like they might still need access to like the Summit cheat sheet playbook that we make for them of the workshops, or they might need access to the private podcast still. So I'll put things like that inside the course itself, which I think I already did anyway. But as far as like the products contributed by the speakers and sponsors that are right here, because these are products, they're not freebies. Each one is at least $15 or more. So some of them are like a few $100s. And so those expire after 30 days. And so it's good that I have it in the channel so that I can just archive it after it expires.
Do you reactivate the channel for the next summit and then just update the content? Or do you create a whole new VIP bonus section for every new summit?
I create a whole new VIP bonus section because I just create a whole new summit section anyway, because as time goes on, I'll just, I'll archive the summit kickoff party, and I'll archive anything that would be expiry,
Yeah.
But I'll leave the meet the sponsors and meet the speakers here probably up until the next summit, just to get them a little bit more additional exposure. And I'll show you that real quick. But I will create a new section for a brand new summit every time, because it's just going to be brand new content every time anyway. Because it's brand new everything, so I can't really reuse it. But I can reuse. I'm going to recycle the idea, like the platform use, but not the content, because we have different speakers and just different things every time. So yeah, so that's the speakers. We had like 32 speakers, and then we had like 22 maybe sponsors. And so these are the sponsors.
So with the sponsors card, you have just like a quick overview on them and a call to action image in the post for bonuses.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Because the sponsors in our sponsor package, they get the ad banner, which is this right here. They get the ad banner inserted in their workshop if they are a sponsor and a speaker. So for instance, let's go to this workshop in the course. So this one is a sponsor and a speaker. So with her, if you scroll down, this is how we use the workshops inside, and how we also incite engagement. So we put the ad banner here that sponsors can have. We put it right here beneath the workshop area. And then they can go and get whatever the sponsors are promoting. And then right beneath it, we also have what we call it behind the scenes, we call it an engagement question. So in this engagement question, we're asking them, some question for them to just carry on a conversation, to extend the conversation. Don't let it just stop at the workshop, so they can just get to know the speaker more. And there are some, some people really go after it. There are some that's just a lot of comments. There are some that's not. And I noticed that the speakers who are involved in the community and writing posts and commenting on people and replying, they're the ones that get most of the attention, like everywhere else. So this go around, I made sure that they knew that I had several ask me, like, if I can get them to do anything in this summit, what would I want them to do? Like the speakers and sponsors were asking me this. And I said, I would want you to be active in the community. That would be my number one thing I'd want you to do, because it gets the homeschool moms comfortable. It gets them excited, and whenever they're more excited about it, they'll get to know you more. It helps your business more. And then it just opens them up, like open-minded, to want to learn more about other speakers and then other workshops and other ideas. It just makes them comfortable all the way around, and it benefits just everybody involved. So that would be That would be what I would, the number one recommendation, I guess I would say, is just if you're going to do a summit, to have everybody involved in the community active in there. So she wasn't very active in the community because she was on vacation that week. So she only got some comments. And she's actually my assistant. She's my summit assistant. So she helped me put all this together. But yeah, so that's what I do. So sponsors, they get an additional ad banner in their workshop area, in addition to the ad banner in their sponsor profile, the Meet the Sponsors area here. So they have 2 spots for their call to action. And actually 3 spots, because if they're also a speaker, then we put that same ad banner that we put in the workshop and in the sponsor spot, we put it also in the Meet the Speaker spot too. So she was a speaker, so she also has the same ad banner in the Meet the Speakers area. So she has like 3 touch points for her money scripts.
What's housed inside of the workshop binders channel?
So the workshop binders, this is an order bump for those who upgrade to the VIP pass. They can add this onto their order. And the binders are just more like digital note-taking organizers, I guess you can say. We have 5 versions here. It's the digital version where they can use it on an iPad, and it's just like a printable of like calendars, basically. Like the Trello version, they can, I mean, all the workshops are in the Trello board, and there's areas where they can write notes and they can learn more about the speakers. It's pretty in-depth. It takes a lot of time to create these, but they love them. So we almost always get the order bump sales from, I would say 80% of the VIP pass holders always get the order bumps. So we have Trello, we have Airtable version, we have a Google Sheets version, the digital one, a printable version where they can just print it out at home for the paper and pen people. And then, so we have 5 versions here, which the printables version is the same as the digital version. They can just send it to GoodNotes or whatever annotating app for iPad. But also, one thing that I did do is pretty much after the launch leading up to Summit Week, then I guess around the beginning of the Summit Week or towards the end of the last early bird week before the Summit, then I will put it to where I have the workshop no, actually, hang on. VIP pass holders can access the summit 1 week earlier. So it's at that point in time where they can access all the workshops, all the bonuses, and their binders here. And it's also that point in time where I put this scene visible inside the community, and I have a pop-up call to action happen where if they are free attendee and they're not a VIP pass holder, but they still do want the binders, then at that point they can purchase the binders, and it's just an additional revenue stream, I guess you could say.
Okay. So for anyone that's like looking to set up a summit, what are just some of the lessons that you've learned over the last, I think you've done 10, 20 summits now? What are some things that you share with someone that's looking to launch a virtual summit?
I would say to make sure that you prepare at least a good 3 months or so ahead of time, just so that you have everything that you've brainstormed fleshed out, and then all your tasks ready to go, and you can prepare better for all the content pieces you need to create, all the setups and everything, so you're not rushing for anything. So I would definitely say prepare ahead of time, and then just make sure everything is set in place before the last minute, I guess you would say. And then it depends on what your goal is. So besides those 2, I would say it'd probably be best to decide what it is that you want to get out of the summit, because all summits aren't revenue driven. Some of them are just to build your email list, or some of them is just to create a product after the summit, like a after summit launch. So it depends on what exactly you're going to be using the summit for. And it doesn't, any way that you use the summit, it's not the wrong way. So you can run it. So that will drive how you're going to use the summit overall. So if you're going to launch a product, like if you're going to use the summit to launch your own product afterward, like a program, then you would probably want to set up the summit a certain way where they're familiar with the product you're going to launch as you lead up to it. You see what I mean? So it would just drive your goal, like whatever the goal is how your summit is going to be laid out. So I would determine that first, and then from your goal, I would lay it out accordingly.
Well, thank you so much, Richie, for giving us a tour of your community. I'm excited to see how your summit continues to grow on Group App, and how can someone reach you if they have questions about, just how to set up a summit?
They can email me at richie@homeschoolmomsummits.com, or just go to homeschoolmomsummits.com and scroll down to the bottom, and it should be a contact area there. Or go to homeschoolandhumor.com, or all the handles is at Homeschool Mom Summits online everywhere. So you'll be able to find me.
Thank you so much for this video.
Thank you.